this even on? Oh, as you can see behind me, both the militia and IMC are fighting each other over which faction gets their turn on the brain cell this time, for the third week in a row. As to any updates with the Titanfall franchise? Hold on, we're getting a live update on the situation. Alright, Frontier News, exclusive, breaking news. Absolutely nothing is happening. Yeah, that's it.
Seriously, the situation is quite bad. After a long hiatus, I decided to take a look at how the Titanfall community is doing. And as with many communities, the best place to start is the mental asylum of the internet. No, not that one. The other one. And what I saw was madness.
Terrible.
Despair. Decay. And worst of all, anime.
It seems everyone, everywhere, is thirsty.
But before we get into the analysis, did you know that 90% of you watching are based and IMC built?
Me neither, but according to the Titanfall community's internal logs for the past months, brutal skirmishes between the so-called IMC and militia fans have broken out everywhere. The fighting has been fierce, and on top of those losses already suffered on all sides, we have lost important facilities. Supply lines and brain cells have been irreversibly damaged. Technological progress has begun to decline, and as a consequence, we've lost our ability to count to 3. Let me explain as to the primary reason why. The recent Game Awards gave the Titanfall community nothing. There's been literally no new information about the game Respawn has been developing for a year or more.
Alright, let's take a look at this very exciting brand new game announcement prepared just for the Game Awards 10th anniversary.
Pilot, tactical recommendation. Based.
This lack of information has affected the mental state of all the players, but also the influx of new players alike. You see, the Titanfall franchise has been repeatedly sold on almost a 99% discount rate for several times now, since my last update video, increasing the population of the game even further after all these years. All of these new players are joining in, only to find that behind all of this mech warfare goodness, there's nothing new to be expected. No news from Respawn, and even praying to the necromorph monolith, that is EA, won't bring any solace. These people are essentially getting the highest of highs joining in, and the lowest of lows finding out what's to be waited for them. As an after effect of this news, the subreddit has descended into despair.
Despair!
Way beyond the scale I described in my last video about the situation. The community has gone through a civil war arc. Which side are you on? The militia, essentially the Farm Owners Association, or the IMC, representing BlackRock, General Electric, the East India Company, and every other trade conglomerate known to man? Or will you join another faction like the 6-4 for other reasons? All of these factions have fought amongst themselves about many things, but the primary reason is probably the debate about the possibility of the existence of a number higher than 2.
So-called IMC appreciators are claiming that if a number beyond 2 truly exists, we should privatize it. Meanwhile, the militia claims that if such a number exists, we should turn it into public property. Their stance is a bizarre one, but as one wise general once said,
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space! base!
I, on the other hand, I'm just a news reporter. I don't know anything. I don't take stances. Except that the militia sucks. Let's go, corporate! Yeah! Man, I need a drink. Speaking of which, then there's the outliers. The outliers' stance is that we should essentially give up. We shouldn't try to count to 3 in the first place. All hope is gone. There's nothing left. Why not just drink moonshine to dull the pain?
The only answer is nihilism, and thusly this has grown to be the biggest faction at the current moment. Surely this mythical free people are talking about never existed as a possibility in the first place. On a brighter note, it's not all garlic bread posting.
Garlic bread.
Smell. Come on, man, it's all about the taste. Buttery crust.
What? Are you kidding me? Smell the garlic.
Taste the crust. Taste, please.
Smell.
Buttery crust.
Garlic. Smell.
Taste.
Titanfall 3.
That sounds good.
Smell the garlic. Garlic bread for just $9.99.
Relatively sane pilots still post on the subreddit with memes and other content. Any recommendations for music on a Legion-themed playlist? As to be expected, a bunch of metal down here in the comments. Sandman? Pretty good ones. My personal recommendation would be the main menu remix of White Rabbit from Battlefield Vietnam, because it reflects the fact that we are PTSD-ridden old people wielding a comically sized door gun, fighting in an interplanetary war, fought for financial and political interests outside of our control on some godforsaken jungle planet. The decline of the Titanfall community has been sad to see. A great franchise, potentially left to the dust, in a corner amongst other promising never-beens. And beans. According to the recent Valve statements, we are literally more likely to get Half-Life 3 before we get another actual Titanfall game. It's not even funny. Meanwhile, Battlefield fans had it confirmed by DICE themselves that the sequel would be in the works almost before the first concept art for the new game was done, presumably. So notifying us shouldn't really be an issue. Meanwhile, journalists are desperately trying to replace anything Titanfall related with Apex Legends for some reason.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no. Mozambique.
In a vain attempt to sneak around the peak that is Titanfall. Diesel Knights, a Titanfall-like shooting game that has been in development for a long time, will most likely be ready before we'll get any knowledge about what Respawn is cooking now. As for now, the Titanfall community has been left to starve, while Helldivers and other communities feast on new content. Where has this noob guy been, you ask? Well, I've been setting up a Discord server called the Pilot Retirement Center, PRC for short. We plan on taking care of Titanfall veterans and Battletech boomers alike, because we believe in the importance of conservation. Join up! There's like 2 of us, so there's plenty of room. Another thing, I've been learning how to channel my OCD into painting. I'll be making a second channel relating to that, actually, funnily enough, if I actually can manage the energy for that. Now listen carefully. This is an order, pilot. Go spend a good new year. And don't drink yourself under the table this time.